How can VGK get out of the funk? Coming up next on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast, and please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. FanDuel is the official sports book of the National Football League. So, VGK mired in a 3-game losing streak. They've lost 5 of their last 6. How does VGK get out of this funk? Well, first of all, we're waiting for Cassidy to address the word funk. The Golden Knights falling to Carolina and to the Chicago Blackhawks over the weekend. At least the Golden Knights scored the first goal in each of those 2 games, as Bruce Cassidy had wanted. But after that, Chris, it just went downhill.
Yeah, I'm peeking right now at the Hurricanes game, trying to jog my memory here. And the first 2 goals I watched on the goal visualizer, just that replay, was Pietrangelo and Hanifin out there. First one, it's just kind of a jailbreak down low, and Pietrangelo and Hanifin they're beaten. Second goal, transition goal, 3-on-2, but it's still Pietrangelo and Hanifin. Looking at the hockey stat report cards for the last 2 games. I'll give you 14 guesses, but who was on the bottom?
Hanifin's got to be on the bottom. He was awful.
Hanifin was on the bottom down there. Both games.
Carlson's in the lower half. Go ahead.
You said Carlson's in the lower half?
Yeah.
Carlson was probably right at half on Carolina and lower half against the Blackhawks. But let's see, look at the Blackhawks game. Let's talk about the bottom 5. Hanifin, Pearson, Kolesar, Pietrangelo, Haig. Going back to Carolina, bottom 5. Hanifin, Pietrangelo, Pearson, Stone, and Eichel. That's the concern when I start talking about those names. Now, title of the segment, how can VGK get out of the funk? And yes, it's a funk, it's a slump. Call it whatever you want. This happens every freaking January.
We're going to call it a funk because...
We'll call it a funk. Okay, that's our buzzword for the next couple weeks.
Well, because that's what Cassidy has called it in the past. And that's exactly what this is. Let's call it what it is.
And they're snake bitten and everything else. And yeah, whatever. But this is just... I think we addressed this on Thursdays and Fridays show a little bit. People keep talking about how are they going to get out of this, what needs to change, they're healthy, why is this happening? My honest opinion, I think the Golden Knights are bored right now. I think they're bored. It's the season started, 4 months ago. It's already 3 months ago, whatever. It's been a long season already. And the end of the season is still a long way away. They're just over the halfway points. You got the 4 Nations coming, which I think is going to drive some excitement for some of the players. So maybe the 4 Nations will actually help the Golden Knights in that regard. But the games, yes, all the games matter equally. 2 points is 2 points, fine, whatever. But I think in the Golden Knights' minds, it's just they're bored right now.
It's complacency. It's complacency more than boredom.
Sure. Boredom leads to complacency. Complacency leads to boredom, or whatever.
Absolutely.
However you want to put that. And we talked Cassidy's probably wearing these guys out a little bit. It happens every year. He's a tough coach to play for. And maybe Mark Stone's voice is just, kind of deflecting off of players in the room instead of them soaking it in. So, again, I think they're bored. I just think they're bored. I think they'll bounce out of this when they decide to bounce out of it. And just a reminder, this happens every January. This is nothing new.
Dry
January. There you go. So take a deep breath. If the Golden Knights can simply stay around a 500 points percentage, let's say between now and March 1st, everything is fine. Don't sweat it.
We addressed this a few weeks ago following a very fast start for VGK. But this, again, is a team that is too reliant on the top line. And we addressed this a long time ago.
You addressed that in October.
And then last week, we heard Cassidy raising his concerns about the very same issue. He feels as though, that top line after that, where's the next wave of scoring? Yes, Tomas Hertl is starting to get hot, so that will help a little bit.
Absolutely.
But where else?
Great.
Yeah, Dorofeev's been good, or Dorofeev, or whatever he calls him. He's been good of late, but they're going to have to get Wah has dried up. Howden has dried up. Complementary scoring right now is just not happening the way VGK had it going and rolling at the start of this season.
How do you know if it was going and rolling at the start of the season? I mean, Dorofeev 19 goals, Hurdle 15, and a bunch of those have come recently. Barbashev has been stuck at 15 since before his injury. Howden's been stuck at 15 ever since we talked about Howden being the co-leader in goals. He's been stuck there for a while.
Stuck.
Stone sitting on 12. Eichel sitting on 11. Eichel gets a pass with 56 points. Mark Stone gets a pass with 39 points. And then Keegan Kolesar, 10 goals, 46 games. Olofsson, 10 goals, 25 games. I'm assuming probably 6 of those are on the power play. So 4 even strength, 6 on the power play. And then Pearson 8, Carlson 7. Carlson's is becoming a concern right now on the goal scoring side.
Every year.
Yeah, not last year, but
the liability. Okay, yeah. What were you saying?
In 6, Nick Waugh, I'm done going down the scores. So this is where I do say that the Golden Knights' biggest area of opportunity right now, besides Hanifin getting his head out of his you-know-what on defense, I think the biggest opportunity right now is going to be a scoring winger, right or left side, doesn't matter. A scoring winger, someone this team can turn to late in the game. You need a big goal. Who's it going to go to? And I know Marchessault is a dirty word in these parts lately. Fine, whatever. But it's that type. I'm not saying the Golden Knights are having are doing bad because there's no Jonathan Marchessault. Let's relax, everybody. And if we don't want to say Jonathan Marchessault, how about Alex Tuch? Players, these are the types of players that the Golden Knights need to be targeting. I'm not saying trade back for Marchessault. That'd be pretty cool. But a Marchessault or an Alex Tuch type of dynamic scorer that can carry the mail, that can get that puck with 6 minutes left. Golden Knights are down 1 goal. That's who you need.
All right. So give me credit again for the start of this complacency run with the Ducks game. That's when they started to mess around and they found out. And that's when things started to go south. Okay. After that game.
What was the deal with the Ducks game again?
No, I'm sorry.
I forgot why you're why that game's on your radar.
Sorry, it's the Sharks. It was the Shark game, right? Where they
you're talking about Eichel, Michigan, and all that stuff.
Yeah, all that.
Okay,
all that.
I need to jog my memory. That's all. Okay.
You need to jog my memory because I called out.
Fair enough. Yeah, we're yin and yang this morning.
Concerning to me, goals scored in the slot on VGK by Chicago. Holy smokes! Those first, I watched the Chicago broadcast. Those first 3 goals by the Blackhawks were right on the doorstep. Bing, bang, boom, right there. Like somebody's got to play defense in front of them there. And I don't know what's going on defensively. This has been hit or miss. Oh, they're the greatest in the world, the best in the Pacific, the best in the NHL.
They were at
times. Win awards.
They were at times.
They're all going to win awards, okay, postseason. And now, again, they go south when you need them the most. I'm just saying.
No, it's a fair observation. It is a fair observation. I mean, it's a lot needs to change right now. And when you're watching Pietrangelo and Hanifin getting worked out there as a pairing, that's a concern. Those are the anchors. They are together. That should be. I mean, if Cassidy wants the Golden Knights to be the best defensive team in the Pacific, forget the West or the NHL right now, that means Pietrangelo and Hanifin need to be the best pairing in the Pacific. And I would be curious, and it'd be too hard to pull it up right now, but Money Puck does rate defensive pairings. Maybe I'll pull it up here before we get out of this segment. And I'm curious where Hanifin and Pietrangelo rank, because there have been some goals scored for that pairing. Let's be clear about that. But otherwise, they are getting worked and outworked a lot of the time. And I know I've marveled about Pietrangelo earlier in the season as far as his ability to do what he does without looking spectacular out there. Let's call it what it is. But in the same token, he's been anything but spectacular lately. And it's not just Pietrangelo. It's not just Hanifin. It is also Carlson. It is the top line in general. And the Golden Knights probably did not even practice yesterday because they probably traveled back from Chicago either late Saturday or early Sunday, most likely early. 3:00 start time, I would almost guarantee there's nothing but an optional skate, if there's even going to be that today at City National. I would assume, looking at their schedule going forward here, they don't play until Thursday in St. Louis.
A back-to-back. They got a back-to-back.
Yeah, they got a back-to-back. That's not going to be easy. And the second one's Dallas, too. That's a pain in the butt as well.
Yes.
So, and then when they come back, you got Florida, Dallas, and Columbus waiting for you. So
Yeah.
this is tough. And I think I rated my we did our points predictions for January. I have to go back to that episode.
Yeah, we have
But
to look
I
that
rated
up.
them very low, I believe, and I
You
think they're going
did.
to come in lower.
You did. You actually rated them lower than I did. You did. You had
Yeah, I know.
fewer
People fall
points
out of their
than I did.
chairs, and I'm probably going to be closer than you are. And I'm not
Yeah.
knocking you. I'm just simply acknowledging
Thanks,
VGK's
man.
having a tough
Thanks for
time right
knocking
now.
me, bro. Thanks. I also felt again that the goalie rotation was wrong this past weekend. You don't
fair,
agree
Tony.
with
It's
me.
fair. It's fair.
I was
It's
like,
fair.
remember the other day, I was like, no, it should have been 2 games to 1 Hill. I don't know what happened there. And now you have time, and it should be Hill of Beans on Monday and then on Thursday, right? No,
What you're saying is fair, Tony. I mean,
I don't
I'm not
know.
going to argue that at this point
You
because
need
of
W's, man. He's the better goalie sometimes, whatever, but he's in a funk too. He's also in a funk. Oh, by the way, here you go. Hey, Golick,
I'm listening.
Nick Hague, elite fighter. He's an elite fighter, remember?
Those are good fights.
Season
Those are
ago.
good fights.
He
but
lost.
He
took
lost.
the
He
L.
definitely lost. There's no doubt he lost
Maroon
that
punched
fight.
him so many times in the helmet, I think he might have broken his hand. But remember they called him an elite fighter? That was hilarious.
They did, and I think that was a little bit
that was
soft.
state run. You lost it. Okay, so that second period in Chicago, maybe this is a sign that VGK's coming out of the funk. 17-3, they outshot Chicago, but they gave up that late goal. But sooner or later, those shots have got to start falling. They have to start going in if you have that kind of volume of shots.
They 100% have to. I'm trying to find the pairing here. I got it to come up in a second here.
Okay.
There's a lot need to change, Tony. It's plain and simple. There's a lot that needs to change, and we've seen VGK dominate periods before, and then something bad happens right at the end of the period. I mean, that's unfortunately been. I mean, it's not the only thing, but that's one of many things right now.
Yeah,
it's just going wrong right now.
Against
one of the
the
things that's going wrong, and there's a lot of things going wrong right now.
Against the Canes, Chris, I know I'm trying to bide some time here so you can.
No, I've got something
Okay,
up here. I just can't tell which side of it I'm on right now.
Okay, so versus the Canes, speaking about being on the wrong side, VGK was on the wrong side of a line change on the second goal. That was the Blake goal, I think. And then it was a 2-on-1 advantage for the game winner, and that was the Jarvis goal. So, again, these are things that were uncharacteristic of the Golden Knights earlier this season. And now, because they're in a funk, everything's starting to go south.
So if I'm looking at this right now, as far as expected goals against, one of those advanced stats that Money Puck measures, if I'm looking at this right, the pairing of Hanifin and Pietrangelo, when I said it they've been on the ice for 280-something minutes together, I don't know if that's what I need to be at or not. If I'm seeing this right, they're the 4th worst pairing in the NHL right now.
Whoa.
If I'm looking at this right.
You mean right now, season long, or just
season
now?
long? Season long.
Season
if I'm
long.
reading this right.
Not the best. The worst in the Pacific? Are they the worst?
Might be the worst. And again, I got to look at this a little closer here.
Yeah,
maybe I'm looking at maybe they're 4th best. So I'll dive into this later. I'll put a tweet out there if I got time. I got a long work day coming here, but yeah, a little bit of a long segment here. But yes, Golden Knights are in a funk. But my perspective is pretty simple. They're bored right now, and when they want to get out of it, they will.
No,
they want to in their minds, but when they want to put the work in to get out of it,
they did against the Sharks, and I feel as though it backfired. They can't just turn
fair,
it on.
Tony. Listen, I didn't agree with it at the time. I did not agree with you at the time, and now it's definitely a talking point. And when they beat the Minnesota Wild, you said fool's gold.
Fool's gold. Fool's gold.
It was fool's gold, absolutely. And I mean, these last couple of games here, let's go back to the San Jose game. They beat the Flames. I feel like that was an okay victory. Montreal lost. Philly, I can't remember how that game went against Philly. It was a home game. They won.
Yeah, they won.
Buffalo, I feel like, was a pretty decent victory. And then they have the second time they went to San Jose. I don't know if that was the game that had the Eichel thing or not. And then the Islanders, they lost. Rangers, they lost. Wild, Fool's Gold. And then Nashville, Carolina, Chicago. So what is this? What's their last 10 record? I haven't even looked at that. That's bad, though.
We got to get out of this segment. Let
me give you the last 10 record, then we'll get out of this segment.
Okay. No, do it next segment. It's like
4-6. 3-game losing streak.
Okay. Coming up next, we will talk about the Monday matinee, the preview of VGK against the St. Louis Blues. That comes right next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights. From the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the NFL playoffs even more exciting, as if they were not exciting enough yesterday. We have, of course, the final 4 teams coming up here next weekend. And right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win your first bet. That's $300 to keep the action going. And the FanDuel app, it's so easy to navigate. The variety of bets keeps every game exciting. And when you win, you get paid instantly, so no waiting around for your winnings. Whether you are betting on your favorite team or just looking to add some extra excitement to the playoffs, FanDuel has got you covered. Just visit FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com. Join today. Get started with $300 in bonus bets. Go to FanDuel.com and make every playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. So you're not going to go out to the game today, I take it, if you have to work that much, or you're going to work and go. Microphone off, mic on, mic off. Turn your mic on, Golick.
I always do this in the second segment.
Yes,
like
I know you always do.
Coughing,
yeah.
making weird noises. I'm getting ready for the second segment.
So are you going to the
Chris
game?
has a hockey game. What's
okay.
that?
Are you going?
Chris
to the
has a hockey game at 5, and then I'm working before that. So yeah.
So I just had to look this up from a historical perspective. How many times has Inauguration Day fallen on MLK Day? I was curious about that, so I did look that up. It's only
every 7 years.
It's a coincidence that's only occurred 3 times in the past. So that's pretty interesting.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So just want to get it out there. And it's a big day for America, I would have to suppose, for people that are interested in all that. And of course, you have to pay tribute to Martin Luther King on this day. So Fridays, of course, are WTF. Saturdays, sometimes it's the Chris Times Chris Jr. show. Before we get into the preview, VGK put out a tweet before the Chicago Blackhawks game that had Jack Eichel looking like he was hungover. I don't know.
Steve McNally had a blast with that. I think that's his name. Twitter follower.
I didn't see that, but I did see the original tweet, and I was like, what is up with this pic? Eichel probably said, can you take that nonsense down? So the intern was all over it, probably found a picture that was like after or during a guilty game, right? He looked hungover, or he looked like the winter.
They take the tweet down?
Yes, they did take the tweet down. That's what I was getting at.
Wow,
Eichel had a complaint.
Eichel had his hands full with that one.
Eichel complained, I'm sure.
I mean, so I think Steve McNally took it and took a picture, put him Eichel a cigarette in his mouth, sunglasses, like he was all hungover and stuff. And then someone compared that to the Ben Affleck meme that we see all the time.
Funny.
And
that's funny.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
I don't know what that was, but they did eventually. VGK took it down.
It's called. There's probably a job opening on the VGK social team. Is what it is
on the social team for sure. So VGK plays St. Louis. It is
a few interns more than we do, Tony.
It is a 3:00 matinee. What if our intern ever did that?
I'd start paying them.
We'd give them money. Yeah,
I'd start paying them.
Yeah. So 3:00 matinee day today. Golden Knights return home, and this is a game today against the Blues. 2 teams really that need to get out of their own way right now. The Blues are just a couple of points right now out of a playoff spot. Edmonton has finally caught up to the VGK, if you have not noticed. And for St. Louis, Doug Armstrong says he went into the St. Louis locker room this past week, and he told the team to start winning. And he said, if you can't get the job done, we're going to start trading players. Pretty strong by Armstrong, because he does believe.
Oh, sorry.
He does believe that he's built a cup contender.
Okay, let's talk about this cup contender. Looking at the leaders: Jordan Kyrou, Dylan Holloway, Rob Thomas, Matchbox 20, Buchnevich, Braden Shen, Colton Parayko, Jake Neighbors. That doesn't scream Stanley Cup to me. Number one, Kyrou 39 points. What's that?
Wait. Oh, so this VGK roster, when you go up and down, does this scream Stanley Cup to you?
It does a lot more than the Blues roster
Okay,
does. I
that's
mean,
fair. That's fair.
Eichel, Mark Stone, Pietrangelo,
I had
Hannafin.
to
At least
ask. I
they're
had to ask. Yeah,
no, it's fair. That's fair.
it's fair. It's fair.
They're one or two trades away, but yes, it does. Um,
They do need missing pieces. We've said that all along. One or two.
Dylan Holloway, 35 points. He's doing fine. Rob Thomas, 34 points, 35 games. Goaltending side, Binnington. Gotta be Binnington, I would have to assume tonight or this afternoon.
Are they
Binnington.
practicing for Team Canada here? Are they
This
going
is
to
a Team
practice?
Canada battle
This
today,
is
isn't
it's a
it?
Team Canada battle.
12,
they're on the ice
17,
this
and
morning.
3 for
They're getting reps
Binnington.
this morning as we speak.
12, 17, and 3 for Binnington. You got an 8.99 save percentage, a 2.83, but Joel Hofer is actually doing a lot better. 10-4 and 1, 2.74 and a 9.06. So that's interesting to me. I mean, Jordan Binnington, yeah. I mean, he definitely deserved over Logan Thompson. He's doing great. He's doing awesome.
Awesome, right?
Line on the game, I thought was, I don't know, Golden Knights are minus 190. You got an over under a 6. Yeah, the lines have caught up to the Golden Knights right now.
Yeah, that's wacky, I think.
The lines have caught up. I mean, 190 is still pretty chalky. And the line probably suggests the Golden Knights will do well today, but Blues Golden Knight games, they've been fun. There's been so many games where it's like a 1-1 game going to the third, and then it finishes 5-4, 4-3. It goes to overtime. Golden Knights had an epic 3-goal comeback against them. Where was it? Donoff scores a late game winning goal after he's traded and not traded and comes back and just all that nonsense in the 2021-22 season, I believe. And yeah, so expect something fun, expect some fireworks. Binnington, you never know what the heck that guy is going to do, if he's going to, if he's going to go attack a peanut vendor, or if he's going to start a fight on the ice, or if he's going to have a shutout, or if he's going to let in 6 goals in the first 8 minutes of the game and get thrown out. So that's the excitement that is watching a Jordan Binnington-led hockey team.
So the big news in the offseason in building this roster for the St. Louis Blues, Armstrong basically stole. You spoke about Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg from Edmonton. Holloway, second on the team now in points, second with 35, as you mentioned. He's a plus 13, so he's playing way over his head.
He's a kid.
Yeah, it's just a 2-year contract that each of those players got. Edmonton didn't want to match the offer sheet.
Couldn't because of salary implications.
Broberg's 14 points, 2 times $4.58 million, and then Holloway on the cheap, 2.229. So his next contract he's playing for right now, and that should be a big one. But they've both contributed. I think it was a really quick start for Broberg, and then I think he kind of chilled out. He got hurt. Hey, that's what happened. I think he got injured, and then he came back, and now he's starting to play well again. And this is a Blues team that comes off of a 4-2 loss against Utah. The Blues, they were being able to, when they started to win games, Chris, they started to score early. And that's a concern because they had early goals. And so against VGK, the first period this is what you need to watch. This should be the key to the game. Who scores first? Even though VGK scores first on that road trip, here we are again. Here we're against another team that likes to get that early lead. So I think it's going to be important to not only get an early lead in this game today, but to sustain it.
Broberg, you mentioned 34 games, so he missed about 13 games. 3 goals, 11 assists, +9. +9, that's pretty solid right there. And I remember when I was I did that roundtable with Locked On Oilers and Kings. I asked Nick off the camera.
Not the Ducks, the Kings.
The Ducks, yeah.
Did
I say Ducks, whatever.
No,
I ran out of time, but I asked him off offline. I said, hey, what's up with this? Is this going to start happening? Is this what they get for hiring the general manager, Bowman? And our team just going to pick him off year by year? And the Blues, Armstrong made the comment that he would have done this if his mother ran the Oilers or something like that. I don't know if I buy any of that, but we'll see what happens as time goes on if teams are going to just keep one in the chamber because of letting Bowman back in the league. And also makes you wonder if that's why Joel Quenneville isn't employed yet. I think Quenneville got the green light, if I'm not mistaken, from Gary Bettman. Again, I don't want to go down that route, but what I do want to state is the fact that if teams are considering going that route, they might look at what happened to the Oilers, and you wonder if teams are going to go after other teams that do target these players that were suspended from the league for an extended period of time. So, but yeah, fun game tonight coming up. I think, like I said, as always, Blues Golden Knights. There's always some entertainment factor, and maybe you can bet if there'll be a goalie fight. That'd be a good line tonight.
There won't be because of Team Canada. They're playing for the pride of Canada.
Pride.
And so I had a stat here. The three centers, Jordan Kyrou, Robert Thomas of Matchbox 20, whatever that was. That? Yeah, that was a good reference. And then Shen, all three of the centers have combined for 101 points. So that's going to be a key in this game. I did some research, bro. I was up late.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know where I came up with that. But in any event, Jordan Binnington, you mentioned the Four Nations face-off. Colton Parayko is also on that team. So keep an eye out for them because this is the hotbed.
And so this is going to be like
to be for Team Canada.
This is going to be like a flag football game, and they're going to take it easy on each other today?
Could be, maybe. Coming up next, we've got our locks and predictions for this afternoon matinee. Stay with us right here on Locked On Golden Knights. In sports, having a winning strategy is everything. It's how the best teams make it to the Super Bowl, to the NHL Stanley Cup and the finals, the World Series, and to the Olympics. The same goes for life. Having a strategy like life insurance from SelectQuote can protect your financial legacy and keep your family's future secure. SelectQuote makes it easy to find the perfect life insurance policy. As one of America's leading insurance brokers for nearly 40 years of experience, they have helped over 2 million customers find $700 billion in coverage since 1985. What sets SelectQuote apart from their personal touch? Unlike other brokers that offer one-size-fits-all policies and such, the licensed agents tailor coverage to fit your unique needs. If you're in good health, you might even need to qualify for same-day coverage of up to $5 million. No medical exam required. And it's more affordable than you think. You can get up to $1 million in coverage for as little as $20 a month. Get the right life insurance for you for less at selectquote.com/lockdownnhl. Go to selectquote.com/lockdownnhl today, and you can get started. That is selectquote.com/lockdownnhl to get started. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. We appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. And you can find us wherever you get your podcast, Fridays, WTF, Saturdays sometimes. It is the Chris times Chris Jr. show. A fun weekend there at Lee's Family Forum.
Yeah.
The Thrill coming back, reverse sweep on Friday night. And down a set last night, Sunday night, they came back to win in 5 again. So it's been fun. So now the Thrill 3-1. So it's been a blast. Get your
on the road
out there. When you
we're going to get out there. I'll look at the schedule and I'll see if we can get the hockey team and all that out there.
Let's get them out there. They had fun last year. Let's do that. Back in action the 31st and February 2nd here. So we'll see how that coincides. So VGK and St. Louis, two teams that are desperate right now. They're desperate for wins. As we know, VGK should be a different team, you would imagine, today at home. We'll see if they are functified or not. I will say 4-2 VGK. And Bruce, please give us a shout out with the word funk. Okay. We got out of the funk. We're still mired in the funk. Please use that word because last season it really paid dividends. I'm going to go with the alums. I will go with Pietrangelo and Barbashev, the alums there against their former team. And no, everyone with St. Louis is frustrated. So Jim Montgomery is frustrated. Of course, we talked about Armstrong.
When did that happen with Armstrong? Was it just recently?
I think it was within the last week. Okay. I think it was pretty recent here. So, and that's a way to frighten your guys. I don't know. I don't know if that's the best tactic to use.
I mean, maybe they want to be traded. Maybe they're happy. I don't know.
All right. So go ahead, man. What's your prediction for the
So
day?
weird quirk in the schedule. I was looking at what the Blues have done lately. They had back-to-backs against the Flames on the 14th and the 16th, and I would
And they
assume that would
swept.
be
They swept them. They swept them.
right. But both games were in St. Louis. It wasn't like a home and home, unless
The
this is
NHL
wrong when I'm looking
The
at
NHL trying to cut down
a
on
hockey
travel
reference.
expenses again? Huh.
It's strange because they got 2 against the Flames. They play Utah. They were in Utah on the 18th and they lost, and now they got back-to-back games, not back-to-back nights, but back-to-backs against Vegas, home and home. So just kind of strange there. Weird quirk in the schedule, but it worked out for the Flames. The Flames lost to the Blues both those games, 2-1 and 4-1. So who knows right there. I'm going to go with the narrative. Weird game, but I'm going to go 4-3 Vegas in overtime. Who scores the first goal, all that crap, I have no idea what's going to happen. But 4-3 Vegas in overtime. And Howden and Eichel, I feel like this is a spot where Howden might just break out. I have no idea why. Jack Eichel is going to be around it. I think I have to assume that in the locker room, some challenges have been issued right now from either Cassidy or Stone or even Eichel at this point. I'm sure he's willing to speak up now. So I think you're going to start seeing a lot more from the vets in these next few games here to make sure they get things back on the rails. Because you can't rely on, Dorofeev is great, but you can't rely on him to carry the mail. Howden, it's been a long time. Barbashev, been a long time, even with him healthy again. And I guess it's the biggest question I have right now is we hit this on Monday or Tuesday last week. And we even hit this when Mark Stone was injured. Will the top line get busted up? I don't think it's going to happen today because of no practice, but if the team doesn't perform well today or it's a choppy game, I bet that top line you see changes coming soon.
You still think that there might be changes ahead there?
There needs to be, I think there needs to be. I want to see more Dorofeev up there. I know that change was made, I think, during the Chicago game a little bit, but I want to see Dorofeev get some serious time along with Eichel.
Okay, that'll be interesting. And then, so you're saying on the wing replacing?
I would actually replace Stone. I would actually knock Stone down a pair.
Okay,
and it's not
that's
nothing against Stone at all. It's just creating better balance.
Put Stone with who? Hurdle?
You can go Carlson or Hurdle. Either way is fine.
No. The first one, no, you can't put that one on there.
I think Carlson's better than Hurdle in for speed, honestly.
A 12-game goalless streak right now. 12 games.
Mark Stone?
No.
Oh.
Your other guy.
That guy over there on the poster right there?
Yeah, that guy on the poster. No bueno. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much, especially our everydayers. Of course, you need the poster.
We all called the Chicago game, and people were giving us so much crap, by the way. And all three of us said Blackhawks on Saturday. And people were, quote, tweeting us saying, oh, here they go again. Here they go again. Hey, you know what? We had it right, guys. So,
we had it right. We could tell just exactly how this team is playing.
I don't know if I can do the Stone Cold thing on here, but I might. But no, I'm kidding.
Okay. Of course, Fridays, WTF, Saturdays, sometimes Chris and Chris Jr. show. Thank you so much. Of course, tomorrow, the recap of this St. Louis Blues encounter in the matinee. VGK always does well in the matinees, by the way, right?
Is it a holiday? Well, it's a holiday, Tony. They're home for a holiday.
That's it. They're home for another holiday. We'll catch you again tomorrow right here from my man, Chris Golick. I'm Tony Cardasco saying so long for now, and we'll see you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights, and please take care.